Hey! So,
Hello.
my name is Sophia. I mean, you're watching this on my channel, so you probably know. This is going to be our live show for the 100,000 Kingdoms. So, we're just gonna go around and then we're each gonna give our rating of the book. Okay, so like I'm Sophia. I gave it 3 stars. I mm. Okay, go ahead.
You
Go
clearly
ahead,
have
Tammy.
thoughts.
I'm so excited for thoughts.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go next. Hi, I'm Tammy from the channel Tammy Tries to Read. I gave it 3.5 stars, but I really liked it.
I'm Katie from Brightness Katie Reads. Sorry, Rue.
Go ahead.
I gave it 4.5 stars when I read it a while ago. And I would have reread
How
it
long ago
like
did you read it?
probably about a year ago. I think it was March last year when I read it. And I was planning on rereading it this past week, but then I was very busy. So yeah, I didn't go around to it. But yeah, from what I remember, I gave it 4.5 stars. I really liked it. I think it's not my favorite in the trilogy. My favorite is the second one, but I still really enjoyed it.
Interesting.
I was thinking that. I was like, interesting.
Okay, I'm Rue from Rue's Reading Corner, and I gave it 3.75 stars. I think it's not quite a 4-star for me because I think it has a lot of potential. I feel like I think possibly I would like the sequel and
More.
subsequent books more, just because I just wanted a little bit more from this. I guess we'll talk about this more when we go into spoilers, but yeah.
Mhm.
I did like it. I think it's a really interesting world, and I really do love gods and pantheon, like the pantheon of gods and stuff like that. So
Yeah. I think for me, it was just very clearly her debut.
Yeah, I was.
And it's just like by comparison, like for me, I was like, I gave the Killing Moon 4 stars, and if that's 4 stars, this can't be
not be 4 stars
for me.
Yeah,
Like this is not quite there in terms of writing for
Mhm.
her standards. By anyone else's standards, it probably would be like higher. But like Ms. N.K. Jemisin, you have raised the bar to the roof, and I'm sorry, this is just not living up to the others.
For a debut, it's pretty
exactly.
good.
Exactly.
For her debut, it's pretty good. Cause like a lot of authors, like they take a while to get to the level she got in her first
In
book.
her debut, yeah.
Yeah. But like the 5th season was just so mind blowing to me. And like I just resonated with so many different parts of that story besides the character, like as well as like the racial themes that she explored. Like I really connected to that. And so like this doesn't really delve into, except for like one character. It kind of delves into some themes, but like it's not.
I was gonna say, what I noticed with this book is I don't know if it's just me because I'm such a 5th season stan, but like there's a lot of themes that are actually very similar, and a lot of like magical things that are very similar between the 5th season and this, like in terms of like the geology. You can, but I feel like in this she just kind of like dabbled in them, whereas in the 5th season she goes deep in, like does a deep dive into everything, whereas this she kind of like touches the surface a little bit. She's like testing out the waters a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I feel like this is almost like her like testing these things, and then by the 5th season she's a lot more confident and
100%.
more like secure in sort of publishing, so more like willing to take risks. I definitely think this is one series where you can like really see how like her writing improves like throughout, and just
100%.
what you were saying about it feeling a little bit like not surface level, but like things missing. And I feel like the next books sort of work on that because they get a bit more like not, I don't know what, like focused almost, so it becomes more almost character focused rather than trying to like this massive scope of world.
Right.
In terms of characters, so do we want to talk about spoilers now? Has everybody gotten their spoilers?
Yeah. Do we have more non-spoilery thoughts? I felt like there was no plot. I'm just going to put that out there. There was no plot in this book, which I don't particularly mind, but I was like, give me something.
For me particularly, I think one criticism I had was like I didn't really care for the characters. And like I hate to compare the fifth season, but like the character
It's hard.
development in that is just like top tier. So like that's what I'm used to. So like the character development isn't bad by any means. I was just like, oh, we're just following these people along. Like I had no particular attachment to any of them.
See, I think I was slightly the opposite, like, because I read the fifth season first. I think I preferred the characters in this series. And, like, because I think in the fifth season, the only character I really liked was, I can't say her name, Cyanide?
Cyanide.
Yeah. She was my favourite. And the other two I was a bit, like, meh about. I mean, I enjoyed it a lot, obviously, but...
I was gonna say I'm with Katie on this. Like with the fifth season, like I don't like that book for the characters. Like I don't connect to any of those characters on like a fundamental level. Like in terms of character work, like Dreamblood Duology.
I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
My baby.
Hanani.
Hanani. Wana Homan.
Yeah.
Nigiri.
I think I related to the characters, especially like Alabaster. Like, oh, we're talking about the fifth season now. Moving on.
Yeah. But I feel like this one, I don't know. Like, I feel about this, in all honesty, I feel about this book a lot, very much the same way I feel about The Blade itself by Joe Abercrombie. All the characters are kind of like very morally gray. They're kind of all terrible people. And like, you're kind of just like, I feel like it's good character work, but there's no plot. There's no plot. So like in terms of like that vibe, I feel very similarly personally in the way I feel about those two books, because again, they're like there's books that don't have a lot of plot, but they focus around these like really interesting characters, which I think is
I feel like I don't really go into N.K. Jemisin's books looking for plot or really characters. I think her best plot and character work is probably what's it called? The City We Became. Because, but I feel like what I was.
The character in The City We Became.
Yeah. I feel like that book has the most plot as well. But what I was really looking forward to, I guess, and what I'm just come to expect is the magic system and the world, because both the fifth season and the Killing Moon or the Dreamblood duology have this really intense magic system that takes, like a lot of brain cells to understand. So like even if the plot isn't quite there, or like the characters aren't, you're not really connecting to the characters, you have the magic system to keep you hooked. But I guess this is going into spoiler territory, but because of the way the magic is kind of leashed in this book, you don't really get to see it until right at the end.
I was gonna say, does this series even really have like a magic system?
Exactly.
I was gonna say, like, aside from them being gods, like, there's not really much of a magic system per se.
They're not confined to the magic system. I'm talking about, like,
it's very soft.
The battle scene at the end where it's just like, it's just epic, but you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I think that was like my issue throughout like a lot of it. It was either I don't know what's going on or this is so weird.
Are we going into spoilers now?
Yeah, I think we should.
Yes.
Okay.
So like, if you haven't read the book, is anybody? But yeah, if you haven't read the book, feel free to click off this video because we're going into spoilers. Bye. But yeah, the smut scene with like the god taking her to the sky.
I still remember that.
He's like, where she got first seeing the universe. She got fucked out of the universe.
I'm like, damn. I'm like, I am so confused. I'm like, am I reading this right?
He really took seeing stars into like a different level.
Literally.
Like, I don't know if anyone else will get this reference, but when you read or like watch like shonen anime that's like geared towards a younger audience, so they can't obviously include like explicit sex scenes or anything, and then they always like whenever they think of like sexy times or whatever, they like go to their mind and they always show like a galaxy explosion kind of thing. I'm like, that's exactly what happened here, but like actually.
Yeah, and I was just like, and then because like even throughout the entire story, they were just like, you can't have sex with him, you can't have sex, you will die. And I'm just like, you mean to tell me that the dick is so good that it could literally kill you? I don't understand.
I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I'm kind of here for this. Like,
and like
it was like a train wreck, but I'm like, I can't look away. I can't look away.
I don't think romance in general is N.K. Jemisin's strongest point.
I refuse.
I
disagree.
disagree.
Wait, are you talking about the Dreamblood duology?
Yeah.
But you know what it is though about her romances? I always hesitate to call them romances because I also feel like she also always throughout like this and the other two series that I read, she always like focuses on these relationships that are very toxic, that are very problematic. And she highlights those like kind of power dynamics, and like she highlights the differences in the power and like how toxic it is. And that's kind of what I like about her. So like I always hesitate to call them romances. Like even the Shadowed Sun, which I love, and I love their relationship, and I'm like, this is problematic.
Yeah, I know. I also feel like if you just read The Broken Earth, I can't like she doesn't. That book is probably her least romance focused series.
Yeah.
I feel like
but
there's just
still
that one
relationship.
It's like a little book of romance. Yeah. And I guess what you're saying is right, because like even from the beginning, he's like she that same Cyan, that one evil bitch. She was like,
Samina?
Is that her name?
Samina.
Is she like one of the other heirs?
Yes. It's like her and then Ralad and Nina.
They're actually
Are they the main characters in the next book?
No, in the last book, it's those two and Say. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right yet.
Oh, I thought they were dead. Wait,
they're the three characters.
No, they didn't die.
Isn't the Are we talking about the heir? Are we talking about the heir?
The heir survived.
I thought the guy died, didn't he?
No, she tried to kill him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then Cyanna is trapped with
Samina.
Oh, yeah.
I really liked them. I really liked kind of like the human
more
character
guy, because the guy, like, he only came in like 2 scenes.
He was very much a plot convenience.
He was just like, I'm too drunk, like, to care.
Ralad.
Feelings just high.
Yeah, and then they were just like, oh yeah, he's like a drunkard, but I'm like, okay, but like, how did he get there? Like,
exactly. And then he comes back the day before everything's supposed to go to shit, and he's like, I have all the answers.
Yeah, and he was just like, I request a meeting. And I'm like, where did you come from, sir?
I feel like it would have been better if he was introduced as a drunkard, because you know how some people like they'll pretend to be drunk but like secretly they're intelligent. Like if we had gotten if she had foreshadowed, given us little snippets when that scene came, I would have been like, oh shit, yeah. But like no, he was drunk.
But he was just like, alcohol isn't doing it for me anymore, so I'm gonna try a strategy.
I also really like Tavril, and I feel like we did not get enough of him.
Isn't he the one who had sex with Yamina cousins?
Yeah. No, he had.
I thought the whole like castle was related.
Yeah,
they're all.
They're all. Everyone is family. Everyone is family. Okay. Inside, everyone is family. I'm pretty sure
they said that like right before the sex scene, and there was to explain away that the fact that these two cousins were about to have
the
sex.
The servants here are family. I highlighted that. I was like, oh, okay, interesting. Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, and then I kind of get the gods, because like the gods created each other, or like he created his children, but then like he had sex with his children, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, and like they explained it as gods don't live by the same rule, and I was just like, this is still so weird to me, like.
I feel like the gods thing, it doesn't bother me, because if you think about like Greek mythology and stuff, it's all incestuous.
Yeah.
But I still thought it was weird. It's like,
Yeah, I kind of just read it from that lens as well, just because I've read a lot of Greek stuff, and so I'm kind
Yeah,
of
same.
desensitized to that.
I guess I'm not.
Obviously,
I guess
it gets weird once they're mortal, but I feel like gods, just because they're just not enough, like
There's not enough of them to go around.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
it's just common fact. Like at this point, you're just
like normal,
going in for
normal
expecting
people.
incest. Everyone's
Normal
just
people,
sleeping
it's
with
like
everyone.
6 degrees of separation. For gods, it's like 2 degrees of separation. So, like, where are you gonna go? Like,
I
know?
hate you guys so much.
I just checked and I've been spreading false information. The last book actually isn't the heirs, it's some different heirs. I knew they were it's a pair of siblings. But I can't remember if I meet them in book one.
Wait, is the second book like a direct sequel, or is it like?
No, the second book follows another character called Ori, who I don't think is in book one, but she's like one of my favorite N.K. Jemisin characters. And then the other god, like not Nohadin, I can't remember his actual name, but he's called Sunny. That's his like nickname. I think is it a Tempass?
Oh yeah, the other one.
Yeah, so they're the two main characters.
Tempass and Nahadoth's relationship. I was like,
yeah, that's
this, but I was like, interesting. I want, but that's what I mean by like this book. Like everything felt like she just kind of like dabbled in it, right? Like I was like, I want more of their backstory. I want more of like their history together, and like she really makes you read between the lines. And I
do like book one's characters show up again? I know like Sia shows up in book 3. He's the main character. But, like,
why is he my favorite character?
I know
what's happening, Tammy.
How is the child my favorite character?
Did you stop reading the audiobook? Did you stop reading the audiobook?
No, I did both. Like I listened to it while I was reading.
His voice is a little.
And you
annoying.
still like Sia?
The voice, I desensitized myself to the voice because it was so irritating.
I feel like he's one of the characters that has the most like nuance,
potential, yes,
and potential as well. Like there was like that scene where he's whipped or like he's tortured and he turns into like a old man.
Yeah,
I feel like, you really explore him a lot.
I agree. Like and then there's also that scene where that he takes her to like the commune type place, and I'm like, I definitely think he's like the most nuanced.
Where he kisses her.
Yeah, but actually, I found their relationship like quite like interesting, like that whole kind of like almost like a motherly mother-son, but like not really a mother-son kind of situation. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Because it would have been so easy. It would have been so easy to just make it. It would have been just so easy to make him like just the kid archetype.
Exactly.
Like and I feel like because she explored him a lot more, I liked him.
Same.
One of my like favorite tropes is like the almost like old character in like a young body.
How many books have you read?
Well, I don't know. I feel like a few because she does it with him, and then she does it with Hoa. In the
yes.
And I feel like I've read a couple
hates Hoa. Sophia hated Hoa.
Oh no, I love him.
Me too. I love Hoa.
Yeah.
Am I the only one who doesn't like Hoa?
Yeah, I think so. Oh. I mean, he's not my favorite character, but I don't hate him.
He's not my favorite, but like he's so interesting.
Hate him. I just side eye him, you know, when it's just like, I don't trust your vibes. And I was kind of right.
I need you to read The Stone Sky. I need you to read The Stone Sky. That is Hoa's book.
I forgot.
In my humble opinion.
Yeah, it is Hoa's book, definitely. I feel like
Hoa's book.
You finally understand why Hoa has played such a big part in the series.
There's one scene randomly. Now, if we're talking about Broken Earth, there's one scene here where they talk about someone turning into stone, and I was like, "This is giving me 15 vibes."
What if they're like in their like own universe? Like
So I did have this theory because like we're so in this trilogy, we're like, or not in this book anyway, we're stuck in Sky, which is just this, like, one part of this world. But I'm like, what if Sky exists in the same world as the Broken Earth trilogy? I have thought this.
Same vibes. They give me the same vibes.
They give me very similar vibes. And I'm like, That's all. I didn't have enough brain cells to actually connect the dots, but it made me think.
What did we think? Okay, there's like the mom, even though she's dead.
Oh yeah,
I found her fascinating, and like the decisions she made were fascinating.
I like the comparison between her and like Samina almost, because like Yena like sees Samina as this like terrible person, but like actually her mom was like worse.
Yeah. And then they're just like, and like there were moments where they're like, oh, you just might be your mother's daughter. Like every time Yamina did something horrible, they're like, you might be your mother's daughter. And I love
it. I'm like, give me a backstory.
And it was so interesting. Like there's like a part in the story where like there's like a narrator talking to it's like telling a person a story, and they're like, let's tell you a story about this daughter who had a father, and then the father murdered the daughter's murder. The father murdered the daughter's mother, and I was just like, oh, what is this? And then we got to the part where Yamina accused her granddad of killing, and like all the little pieces fell into place. I was just like, what? Kill granddaddy. Wow.
Granddad again, I wish was explored more as well.
Yeah, he was kind of there.
He was like barely there.
Yeah.
And at the end where he's just like cowering and being like, oh, like barely dead. And I'm just like, wait.
I'm like, just die already, old man.
Yeah.
I feel like all of the characters in this story, like if she had, they're even though she didn't dive deep into them, they're very complex.
Yes,
you know, because like even with the grandfather, like you're first introduced to the grandfather, and he's like this evil villainous figure, but like the one thing that's constant was his love for his daughter, and you don't know, like, did he kill his own daughter? Like, what's going on? And then like at the end where he's like, I would have even tried to love you for her sake. And I was just like, ooh, this complicated family dynamic.
When we found out who actually killed her, it was kind of underwhelming to me. Like, also because like she never brought it up or anything, and he just like pieced out. Like,
who did kill her? Because I can't remember.
The Scrivener.
Lorraine.
Yeah.
Wasn't it actually like Tempest?
Tempest through his body. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The whole Varane storyline I could have done without, in all honesty. Yeah. I was like, I don't need you there. Like, yeah, he was just kind of there.
I feel like when I was reading it, I was like mainly there for like all the drama between the gods.
And, I do like that dynamic a lot. The whole like bickering kind of,
and then like the one that betrayed them at the end.
I did not see that coming.
I kind of did. I feel like she was the one who, like, they made it obvious that she didn't like. Yeah.
Personally, I don't know. I didn't see it coming. But like also I suck at predicting stuff in books. So whenever there's like a plot twist, I'm just like, ooh. Like
I do feel like if we knew more about like the other gods except Thea and Nado, I feel like her betrayal would have had more of an impact. Yeah, because it's just like this random character whose name I barely remember, who's talked like 3 times in the book, who betrayed them, and we're just like, oh, okay.
Wait, which one? Enifa? No, Karue?
Karue, yeah.
Isn't
she's like wisdom, right? Like the goddess of wisdom, I think.
I don't know. I don't know what they all stand for.
Karue is like really interesting to me, so I looked them up.
Karue is like the one. Isn't she like the mother figure to like the godlings? So like Sia and Jakarn.
Isn't that Yenna, like the person.
Yeah. Oh wait, she's also a godling. Never mind. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, but she's like the big godling.
Is
She's like
goddess of wisdom, apparent leader of the enslaved gods.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, she her name popped up and I always like forgot who she was.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And then at the end, she's just like, okay, I'm gonna betray you because I think I will whatever her excuse was. But like I was just like, oh, okay. I have no emotional connection to this.
Yeah. How do we feel about Nahadoth? Who would we cast in the TV show? Because this is being turned into a TV show.
Is it really?
I
feel like it would make
not
a good
sure about.
Oh,
I know absolutely no actors. Except
no,
I feel like
I'm so bad at fan cast.
same.
We need your talents, Tommy.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't have an actual fan cast for Nahadoth, but like in my head, Nahadoth's voice. Do you know Corpse Husband? Do you know who that is?
Isn't he a YouTuber?
Yeah, he's like a Twitch streamer. He's like a gamer. And his voice is like Satan's.
Let me look it up.
Satan. Wow.
His voice is so deep. In my head, that's Nahadoth's voice.
Corpse husband?
Yeah.
Mm.
It's like
I don't think you can. I think he keeps his face anonymous.
Yeah.
So, like, you can't even see
yeah,
him.
because it's like he's meant to have like
Yeah.
many faces or whatever.
Are we gonna
Yeah.
hear his voice, Rue?
Me?
I don't know if you were playing it. I just
No.
heard something. I might be hearing things.
Oh no, I think there's a slight echo.
Oh.
Yeah. One thing I really liked about, I think I discussed this a couple days ago, where Yamina, is that her name? I'm really bad at names.
Who are you changing her name every single time?
Everyone's names every
Yenna.
time.
Yenna?
Yena?
I pronounce
Yeah.
like Yen. I don't know if that's right.
The main character?
Yeah,
The main character, yeah.
Yena.
Yena.
Yena?
Yeah.
Okay. Her.
I think you mixed her name
Not
with
read Samina.
with Samina.
Did you not read the
Yamina?
audiobook?
Yamina, Samina, Yenna, anywho. But one thing I did like how her character was explored in terms of like her identity and like that internalized conflict where she's like, I'm not enough Dare, or what's the other people called? I forgot their
Sarah Mary.
a Mary?
Sarah Mary?
A Mary?
Did she read the book, lady?
I finished it.
I feel like now she's just pretending not to hear on purpose.
I finished this book like a couple hours ago.
Which is why all the information should be like, you should be giving us all the information. You
the
finished it
names, my brain cells have just been fried because like I finished the spider book and this book back to back, so like, and they both require a lot of brain cells.
What's the spider book?
Children of Time.
Oh.
But yeah, I really like that eternal conflict where she was just like, I don't know how to identify, or like, I'm trying to be this way because this is what my people want. But even no matter how hard I try, it's impossible because they'll only see me as something else.
Yeah.
And I thought that was well done, well explored.
I liked that. I liked in general, like, I feel like the overarching theme for me in this book is like that kind of exploration of like morality and humanity versus divinity, and like where does the line stop between humanity and like godliness. And I love that exploration, and how even in like Nahadoth, like she explores humanity and like pain and like mortality through the gods. And I thought, well done, and Kate Jemison.
I'm just the other god. Well, I forgot his name.
Etempest?
Tempest. That punishment. I was like, ooh. They were like, you're gonna be forced to wander the earth and fall in love. And I was just like, damn.
It's such a good. Now that I know that the second book is about him, it's such a good segue.
Yeah, see, that's kind of the plot of book 2. Yeah.
I'm ready for that.
I'm ready.
I am intrigued now.
Yeah,
Katie,
book 2 is like.
Did you read the final novella? Like the sequel
What's
novella?
it called?
The Awakened Kingdom.
Yeah, I think I've read it. I think it's maybe a spoiler for either book 2 or 3.
Okay.
So I wouldn't
I-
read it.
Yeah, because
Before you
I
read it,
originally
and
was like,
Or it might be a short.
No, I think it's called a sequel to the trilogy as a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like, originally, I was like, wow.
The last book is like half
the book. And then I was like, oh, wait, no. I was like, no, there's a whole other novella.
Yeah, the last book's definitely the longest, though, I think.
It is.
And
And
I
also-
was like, is half of it?
Yeah, there's more than one like short story in the world as well, I think, because at the end of my edition of maybe the last one, there's like a short story with the characters from the second book, but then I think there's another short story with something that happens at the end of the third book. So it's a bit complicated.
I just saw in the last book, the glossary has like shit written all over it.
Yeah, I remember that. I think it's Saya.
I think it's meant to be
like,
Sia because it's like very childish. But the top
Yeah.
is like the glossary of terms for idiots. 3 books and you still don't know this stuff. It's so good.
Yeah, actually the like, is it the appendixes or like the endings of all of them, they're really, because usually I just like, if they're on my Kindle or in the book, I just skip them, but in this series they're actually really funny.
Interesting. Maybe I will read it then because I didn't read it because it's not in the audiobook, so I just like stopped after that ended.
Mhm.
I didn't even notice. I don't even have my
Same.
book with me. I'm so unprepared.
I have to get up to get it.
Yeah, the only books I have next to me are a picture of Dorian Gray and Tess of the Duberwills. I love my life.
It's almost like you're an English student or something.
Who would have thought?
Do we have anything else to say about the 100,000 Kingdoms?
What did we think about like the rest of the world? Because like obviously it's mainly set in like the sky place, but like
I feel like-
we do see a little bit of the rest of the world in this book, don't we?
I like the
Yeah,
little
you see
excursion to
Dare.
see the grand.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dare, and then
Yeah.
and then we learned that Dare is actually like a matriarchal society, which
I love me a good matriarchal society. And it's so, there's like this one part, and like this is fantasy. So like there's like this one part where it's like they have to fight in the wilderness to survive.
Yeah.
And then they like come back
Oh,
and then like fight a dude. And they're like,
yeah.
if
Yeah.
he wins, you know, it's like if he wins, then it's like you're weak. And like if you kill him, that's also, and I'm just like, wow. The cultural aspects. I think like that's like what I love the most about fantasy in general. Besides like escaping this world, is seeing how authors create like their own culture within a society. Like that to me, besides the magic system, besides all that good stuff, like it's my favorite part, you know?
I agree.
But yeah, 2 books with a matriarchal society. I'm just living.
I've been on a matriarchal society roll with like also like Escaping Exodus is another really good matriarchal society.
It's on my list now.
I think I heard you talking about that in your blog.
Yeah, I own that, so I should read it soon.
It's really good. Like second half of the book, like there's some issues with it. I don't think it's like a perfect book, but like overall, I really like that book.
I just haven't been reading in general.
You always say that, and then you've read like 20 books. So
This month I have read nothing.
This month just started. yesterday.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
The third of it.
And also, like, just before the month started, you literally finished like 4 books. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. I just feel like I haven't felt like reading the last few days. I don't know. I've just been watching the same Kingdom episode.
You don't have to read. Like, this is not your job.
I know.
What else?
I've gotten all of my things off of my chest.
I can't think of anything else.
It's just like it's just like I just can't get past the weirdness to me, you know? I'm just
Kind of like, I learned to like the weirdness, I think.
Yeah, I feel like also expecting the weirdness going into it because
Oh, I
I
definitely was not
I
expecting
wasn't.
it. It took me a solid 25% of this book to be like, okay, it's fucking weird.
Yeah,
I can get on board. I can get on board.
Same. I was just like, yeah, they're all cousins. It's fine.
I think where I really started getting hooked was the first time we actually got that break in consciousness at around like the 100-ish page mark. And we like, the first time you kind of realize that it's not just one character telling this story. And that was when I was like, I need to know.
Oh yeah,
I need to know
I was gonna talk about that because you, I think you all thought something that I thought was a plot twist was like really obvious.
I did. I have a whole sticky note.
Wait, what was it?
It was just, I was just like, oh, is there like multiple narrators? Are we are we talking from the future and like reflecting back on this story?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
who it
Like,
was
she's
like
talking
telling
to what's her name?
like
Annabelle.
she's talking to God.
soul.
Emperor?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that gets revealed like halfway through.
Uh-huh.
Oh, does it?
Not-
Like I started to suspect. As soon as they were like, as soon as we got the breaking
Katie was
consciousness,
like at the end, and I was like, "What do you mean at the end? Didn't we get that reveal halfway through?"
for me
Maybe-
personally, as soon as they explained that she has 2 souls, and then we got
Yes,
the breaking
exactly.
consciousness, I was like, oh,
Exactly.
okay.
Yeah, but that was halfway through.
But I think I also may have been getting it confused a bit with book 2 because that one also has a bit of a like twist on how it's being told, and I think that is towards the end.
I love
I feel like N.K. Jemisin is so good at that. Like when she did that in the 5th season, I was like, I am done. My brain, she has broken my brain. And like, even though it wasn't a twist in this one, at least not for me personally, I
Yeah.
still think it was,
I was like,
really
wait,
well done.
I was like, did I miss a plot twist and confusion? Yeah, no, she writes an explosive ending, I feel.
Mm.
She really does. Where are all my sticky notes?
I just like her manipulation of not those first person, second person,
Yeah.
third person.
Yes.
Yeah, when she's almost like talking to the reader.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
Like she takes
But
all
yeah.
the rules and just throws them out the window.
Throws them out the window.
And I'm like, wow. I can't
I
argue.
think her writing was this good for her debut. It just puts it to perspective.
Yeah. But I do think, again, like, I feel like this, you're like, you read this and you can tell how much she's improved and like
Yeah.
built the same foundations. Because like when you read the 5th season, it's just like a whole other level of like narrative choices that she makes that are similar to these, but like way more.
Mm-hmm.
She's a genius.
I feel like honestly, the only reason like if I feel like I would have enjoyed this a lot more probably if I didn't read the 5th season first. Like if I had read this and then the 5th season, this probably could have been like a 4 or 5 stars for me.
Yeah, and you had nothing to compare it to.
Yeah. That's fair.
I feel that. I feel that. But I also feel like it's good that it's not as good because then you can really see how much she's improved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like I think I saw something once where she was like maybe an author on Twitter or something that like they'd want their debut book to be like their worst book.
Yeah.
then like it shows it improving.
Yeah. I think that was Arf Kwong, or she wrote a thread similar to that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it probably was her because she's one of the authors I follow. I didn't follow that many, but like
Fair.
I follow a couple.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah, I think she said that about her first book because like people were like, "Oh, the prose is not," and she's like, "I know."
But wasn't she like 9?
I think she retweeted Rin let out a breath she didn't know she was holding, and she was like, "I wasn't 19."
But also,
It was so funny.
Wait.
But it's in like every
Miss
single book.
Miss N.K. Jemisin decided she was gonna put a spin, and she wrote, "I let out a breath of tension I hadn't realized I felt," and I was like, "Ma'am."
That's better. That's
It's
better
not as
than
good
what
as Radiant
Evan
Dragons.
Winter tried to do. Remember Evan
Oh,
Winter?
I took a breath.
The other one was like,
I was
say
like,
that.
Tao is just defying science, okay? He does not follow the rules of biology.
I'm losing. I died.
Yeah, I read that and I was like, oh, nice. Nice.
Oh.
Yeah, I feel like her prose in general is very good. Just like the way it's written, it's very kind of not quite like lyrical, but like she has a way with words, just very captivating.
Yeah, and then also like sometimes like she writes in a very kind of like prosy, like poetic way with like the line breaks and stuff, which I find really interesting, which she also did in Broken Earth.
Mm.
Which I think is super interesting. And I just like, I don't know, I like it.
Yeah, it's like a break in the tension because it takes you away from like the story and usually gives you some kind of backstory or like what's happening somewhere else in the world. I don't know. I really like it.
Is it this book where like in the last like near the end there's like a chapter where there's like loads of really short like paragraphs? I'm sure it's an N.K. Jemisin book somewhere.
I mean,
it might be a Killing Moon.
I want to say it's maybe 5th season or like one of those books. One of the books. I know in Broken Earth she does it quite a lot. But like this one more so at like the beginning of the chapter, sometimes she'll just have like a block of like almost like a poem kind of moment. Yeah. A poem. And then she moves on. You know.
All right. Any final thoughts?
I have none.
No.
I'm excited for book 2 now.
Yeah, I'm quite excited to see what you all think of book 2.
I might read it soon. I feel like I'm in the mood.
I'll start it tonight.
Oh. Wow. Wow. I just have to wait for my live audiobook to come in.
Yeah, I also have.
It's quite interesting as well because the main character's blind, so it's like quite an interesting like perspective.
Okay. Interesting.
Jinx, you want me a soda? Alrighty. Okay, alrighty. So that was it for our live show. We will see you next time on Katie's channel.
Tammy.
My channel.
Tammy's channel.
And
our book is going to be
A Wish in the Dark
by Christina Sundtornbat. Yeah. I'm excited. Have we done a middle grade yet?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we have.
I don't think so.
Unless, is Alatso a middle grade? Not really.
No, it's YA.
It's YA. Yeah. I feel like I'm more excited now that I looked up the synopsis because it's a Les Mis retelling.
Yeah, I told you this.
I
literally, when I pitched this book to the group, I was like, it is a middle grade, high-inspired fantasy Les Mis retelling.
At least I remember the name. At least I remember the name, which is more than I can say about Sophia.
Putting me
don't come for Sophia.
Me under the bus just
don't
to save
come
herself.
for Sophia.
Thank you. But thank you.
I'm quite interested to see how a middle grade does Les Mis. Like
that's
it's
what
not.
I was wondering. I was like, I don't think it's gonna follow beat for beat. Like I think it's really just the premise. Like I know it follows like a boy who's in jail, kind of a boy who's in jail, which already I'm like, wow, tough world. Like,
I think it's just the Javert and Jean Valjean dynamic.
Yeah, I think that's mainly what it follows. But I'm excited.
I'm excited. I need to find the audiobook or the ebook. I think the ebook's at the library.
Yeah, I have it on hold.
Oh,
hopefully it's available in the UK because sometimes middle grades are a bit hard to get hold of.
Yeah, I have noticed that like middle grade has less like international crossover. Like there's certain ones that you talk about, Katie, that I can't get here.
Yeah,
unless I buy it from like Book Depository or something.
It may be on. It probably is on Audible. I think
probably.
Usually, like audiobooks and stuff are available.
I opened Audible and the first thing I see is Breach of Peace.
Oh no! You know, it's narrated by Michael Kramer and Kate Redding.
I know, I can't.
But
I also, I'm not gonna lie, I have decided I don't really like Michael Kramer as an audiobook narrator. Okay, we're going way off topic here, but like, I don't know.
I don't think we stopped talking about this book like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys the next slide.
We should end this.
Bye.
Bye.